why did this happen to me? And then I turned to Green Bay, where I spent three years, and 3 years, and still struggling very hard, but slowly getting over it, and slowly maturing, and realizing that there are bigger things in the world than me, and not being so self-centered or egotistical. I actually, it wasn't until this last couple of years at Green Bay where I started asking the real question: why? Why am I still alive? Or what can I do to make people like me for me, and not be so superficial and be rude to people? So I eventually matured, and I honestly can say now I'm a better person because of this accident. Even though I did have what seems to be like a lot, I didn't have anything like this. No, I was socially inadequate compared to where I am now. I'm more accepting of people's differences, and it was not until this accident that proved what true humility and a true courage and everything that you can apply to someone who suffered like this accident to me. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's very good stuff right there.
Any more questions? Yeah.
What motivates you like every day to keep doing it? Like to push at it harder? Like, you know, something that like motivates you?
Well,
Like not to give up?
you're asking like how resilient.
Yeah, like what things do you look forward to?
Resiliency. Obviously, I'm very resilient because I lived through this, and I continue to live through this every day. What drives me is, most people might think this is strange, but my dog. I mean, I should have a bigger word, but just pretty much people in general drive why I like doing this or going through a daily life. Because interaction, relationships with people is what gives me the motivation to give whatever I can every day. And it is through relationships that we can experience the true intentions of what is wanted for us. To build relationships with everyone. Just don't discriminate against them because they are different. Learn from that. And when you learn from that and how it can benefit you, you can truly become humble then. Is that good?
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I saw on one of your slides, you know, initially when you were in the coma or in the hospital, you had some friends that were there supporting you. How was that process over time with the people that you knew? And, you know, how long did those relationships last, knowing the condition that you were in and what you had to go through was different than their daily lives?
Great question. Those were my hockey player buddies at the time when I was still in the coma, and I mean, I'm grateful for what they did give me, but I realized they weren't, I don't really have too many friends now because I'm very limited in what I can and can't do. So they were there because someone else thought that would be a good idea. I don't think they were truly there for the good purpose of their hearts. So just look at what you look at every action you do and think, what are the effects of this to someone else? And just analyzing yourself will truly make you a good person. And the hockey players, they are still good friends, but I mean, they're not people that I would count on now, because I can't do what I was able to do once before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
How's your family been part in your recovery?
Great question as well. Family is what I think brought me as well as I did before. I was, my father who played college baseball at UW Minnesota, and so he would, don't tell him I mention this, but he was gonna go pro, but then he married my mom, so, we'll talk about that later, but, okay, so.
There's a hidden message in there somewhere.
So, my family immensely, my mom and my father, they stayed down in Green Bay when I was in my coma. And the doctor said, better say goodbye to him, because he's probably not going to make it through the night. And there was a doctor who's family friends with Mark Garden, who's a Packers neurosurgeon or neurologist, and he opened his home to my dad and my mom, and so they could stay there, and they could get like a reprieve or a time away from me and my struggles that I was battling with. I was sick. I was suffering from a high fever and other illnesses when I was in a coma that, so, but my family, my sister, who is a nurse practitioner in Minneapolis, was also very empathetic and sympathetic for me, and she's someone I can count on. But for my well, let me retract. My dad and my mom. My dad, he, as I alluded to earlier, he was a big baseball player and football, and I mean, he was pretty tough on us kids. And now he, like, after the accident, he cries at every little thing that you can think of. I mean, you were watching the home where they rebuild homes, he cried over that. Yeah. So, he's more sensitive. But what my family did for me was they gave me someone to talk to express my feeling, my anger, my sadness, my depression, through them, through talking. And it is through family that a person can become more affiliated with them, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
I have a personal question. Oftentimes, and even on programs, when you hear of people in a coma, can you describe what that means to us? What is a coma? Were you alert? Did you know people were talking to you? Were you unalert? I mean,
I was in a drug-induced coma for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And they put me in a drug-induced coma because they thought I had some serious damage to my brain, and a coma, people. But anyway, so a coma, they